Hey all, Carl Gasso here. Welcome to Gasso Gathers, and welcome to video 10. 10 videos. Wow. What an accomplishment. Today, we're going back to the baseball cards. In the last video, I finally did a video discussing something from my other collection, which was my Star Wars, mostly Power of the Force collection, and I discussed toy trends in the 90s. I'm going to go back to that. I have two of those racks total, and each side has a theme to it, and I'm going to do a video on each theme. So, yeah, that's going to be something I do in the future again. But for now, video 10, we're going back to basics, going, back to our original homestead, which is opening up these vintage 90s baseball cards. Tonight, we're doing 1994. And I have a very special little prop here. This is my novelty Kiss baseball bat because for some reason this band and my love for music keeps coming up in these videos. So the bat will be back. But for now, let's get right into this. I'm probably going to be doing about half of this box this round. And yeah, so this is not just a celebratory video for this 10th video. I have some good news for myself. My father, he had a very minor heart operation. He had a valve replacement surgery done, and he's back home. He was only kept for about a night, and everything seems to be going well with him. What he had done was, like I said, it was minor, but it was one of those things where if he let it go unchecked, could have been worse, could have been a lot worse. So, something that's a lesson to be learned from this. Always just get yourself checked. Oh, no matter what. Just get yourself checked, because, the longer you let something go, the worse, if, God forbid, if there is something going on, the worse it could end up being. So, yep, Dad's home. He's healthy. Doctors are pretty confident that he's going to be all good. And yeah, as I said, the 90s was the base of my childhood. Had a lot of great experiences with the 90s. At this point, when I was a kid, these look great, by the way. This is very this is just very 90s. Like, even like just everything about like the fonts and like the overall look, like it's just great. And yeah, these look awesome. So all right, let's do this. All right, so we started with these 90s cards with 1996, and we've been working our way backwards. I'll be honest with you, this is going to be the last backwards 90 cards for a while that we're doing. I do have more 90s cards, but the next one is not going to be 1993 for now. All right, but all right, they're nice. They feel good. They don't feel like too sticky right now. Oh, yep. I jinxed myself. Oh, okay. A little bit damaged, so. All right, some of these are a little sticky. I was wondering why, actually. Okay. So, yeah, right now, as I keep mentioning, I wasn't hugely into sports as a kid. What I was really into at the time, these, yeah, that's better. I was into comics, and we got three. Oh, okay, hold on. I was into comics. I was into superheroes. I was into music, and not my favorite Giants uniform. I just think that they have like such a great font. They have one of the most amazing fonts, and for some reason in the 90s they went to like this look, and it's like, that's not a bad look. It's just. And around this time, I was really into the band Kiss. it was a band that my mother had got me into. She was you know, one of the people who at the time used to like follow him with her girlfriends, you know. And I mean, it just worked because like the music was very easy for a kid my age to get into, and they literally looked like superheroes, right? Like that was like, you know, so it was a great like, okay, it was a, you know, it was a match made in heaven. So, in 1994, Kiss was doing a thing where they were touring the country doing unplugged sets. And this was a kind of, I think, speculating, this was a kind of audition This was a kind of audition for MTV's Unplugged. You know, I think they just wanted to show, like, just that they really could, you know, even though they're just not known for having that type of show, right? Like, they weren't Alice in Chains, they weren't Nirvana, they were this big stadium band, but they could pull it off and make something good with it. So they had this idea where, you know, there are these things called Kiss conventions, but, you know, I guess most people have heard of them. They're not so frequent, unfortunately, nowadays, but a lot of Tigers so far. But they did this thing where they called them like something to the effect of like a super convention, and it was basically, you know, at these Kiss conventions, it's usually Kiss cover bands or tribute bands rather that played, but they were gonna play, and they were gonna do an unplugged show, and they would bring along with them on these tours, on these conventions, stuff from, you know, their days, costumes, old equipment, you know, drum sets, guitars, and they would have vendors and all that. And so this was the only time that I ever would actually see the real Kiss play, was during this convention. And the one I saw, it was in Roseland in Manhattan, which is not there anymore, unfortunately. It was a fantastic venue. I saw a lot of bands play there. But the very first band I ever saw, wow, that is awesome. Fantastic. Tim Salmon. Salmon Run. That's cool. And so, yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. First band I see at Roseland, it's Kiss. And so, yeah, it was a great time. And at one point, that was where I got an old school from like the 1970s, the original Kiss action figure, and it was a Paul Stanley. So when they start playing, we were situated at the very, I guess if you're facing the stage, it was at the very left. And I don't know, I don't think that's stage left. I think that's our left. There we go. Brett Saberhagen. No, Saberhagen. Someone just ripped their hair out hearing me butcher that name, especially because he's a Met. But all right, and like we were like really on the left of the stage, to where like we were actually watching the band from the side more than anything, because, you know, I was small and they wanted to find the most direct way that I can kind of see the stage. And we were next to this this area where it was like a not a fence, it was like just like a area that had separated people from, like, I guess the area that would become technically the backstage area. And oddly enough, there was this elderly couple on the other side of the of that. And my mother, being such a big fan, she said, "You know what? I think that's Paul Stanley's parents." And she said, why don't you go up to him and just, I think she said to my father, for my father to do this. He goes, go up to him and just be like, hey, are you Mr. and Mrs. I believe it's Eisen was his original name. And lo and behold, they reacted. They were like, "Oh, how did you know?" And a little bit of a conversation got stricken up. They saw that I was holding their son's likeness as a doll, and Paul Stanley's father couldn't believe that they charged me. Well, this is just so typical. It's like, do you know your son? Do you know your son? They couldn't believe that they charged us full price for me because I was so young. And him and my father, they exchanged information. He got my dad's or our family's information. And a few weeks later, I got a care package from them, and it was the graphic novel version of all the Kiss comics that had come back. Chin music. Wow, these are really something, man. This is super 90s type, art. This is the type of stuff that, you see. That's great. I like those a lot. It was, yeah, so it was the compendium of, all the Kiss comic books reissued in one book from, the 70s. The kind where, in the original issues, they actually, supposedly mixed their own blood into the red ink. This didn't have that, obviously. It was a reprint, but... and it was also a series of guitar picks. Kiss guitar picks. And it said Kiss on one side, and it had their kind of engraved signatures. I believe it was mainly Bruce Kulick on the other. And all sorts of, little... stuff like that. It was just fantastic. It was wow, what an amazing very lucky thing. And that was something that my parents were great at. They really knew how to kind of take advantage of the situation in terms of fandom. And, what would really create memories for me. They were just very encouraging like that, and so, yeah, that was a totally and completely unique experience. When Kiss was done playing their set, they had a meet and greet where they went on the side, those sides of the stage, and would, hang out, and people around them would, it was very chaotic. It was actually very chaotic. It was actually crazy that, as a kid, being a part of that. But I remember the drummer, Eric Singer, he pat me on the head. Oh, because it was at the time I was actually trying to learn how to play drums, so I guess I related to him more a lot because of that. And again, my parents being taking the bull by the horns, they'd be like, "Oh, he's learning drums," and he smiled and he pat me on the head. So I got a pat on the head from Eric Singer. And yeah, no, it was just a great time. It was just one of those great memories, and that was all in 1994, which is why I'm discussing it now while I open up baseball cards. These are really nice, by the way. I really like the aesthetics of these. These cartoons they have on the back of some of them are just, I mean, that's just, they're so well done. That's just great. That's something that I really have been liking. These alignments cards are what seem to be sticking. I don't know if like they have something that the other cards don't, that they're made of or some or whatever, but that's kind of what seems to be consistently sticking here overall. But they look great. Like, these photos are like really nice, whether it's portraits or action shots. Like, they're all just very crisp. And we have a debut. I have to look into that. Again, not expecting, you know, I'm not hunting, I'm not chasing here, obviously, but it's always good to know what you have. Oh, excuse me. That was the chair. I'm excusing the chair. Chicago White Sox, they beat my Mets today. They're doing a lot better, I think, from last season. I think the Rockies are the ones in the kind of the trolling LOL ranking right now, and that's nice. As far as what I have planned for this channel in the future, like I said, this is going to be the last going backwards in the 90s. I do have some more 90s cards to open. It's just not going to be 1992. I have a few surprises. I have some really unique cards that I'm going to look at. I'm going to be opening up soon. And then I'm going to be going back into the toy collection. And also I'm going to be discussing some movies, some comics. So we have big things coming up in the future. But like I said, for now, I've just been really into like wanting to know what, as far as, you know, these cards are, what I have. Because a lot of these, you know, boxes, I wanted to have inventory before I even started recording. So a lot of these hobby boxes I've been sitting on for months now, just because I wanted to make sure I could be able to consistently you know, get a video out where I'm not like waiting for it in the mail, you know, things happen in the mail, or you know, I didn't want to kind of guess every video what I was going to do. I had this idea about these 90s hobby boxes, and I really wanted to go for it. And then, of course, you know, you want to make sure that you get them. See this, these kind of cards. Ken Griffey, Dugout Dirt. But man, you know, if these are, you know, 94, these are over 30 years old now, and they still pop. They're still good. They're, you know, overall they feel pretty good. We have some sticking, but you know, every time we move on. That's a really great shot. But yeah, these are nice. Looks like we have 1, 2, There's about 4 packs left. We're coming on about 20 minutes, and I want to keep these videos short and sweet. So you know what? We're going to cut this off. We're probably going to make this a 3-parter then. So, hey guys, thank you so much. I hope you stay tuned for the next installment of Baseball 1994. Please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Give me any suggestions you got. If you are watching these videos, you're liking them, you want to, give just a little extra consideration to me and supporting the channel. I'm an independent author and I have 3 books on self-published on Amazon right now. If you look up Carl Gasso, the Greater Region series, you can check out these books in paperback and Kindle. One day I'm actually also going to talk more about these as well. I'm going to do some readings, and we're going to talk about what's going on in the Greater Region. But for now, thank you guys so much. See you in the next one. Video 10. Here's to 10, 20, 30, 40 more.